everyone, this is Jen, and today we are going to be making bubble bath bars using the SoapQueen recipe. So the first thing we need is to zero out our measuring cup, and then 7 ounces of liquid glycerin, .9, 7. Okay. And then we need 1.8 ounces of castor oil. We'll zero this out. .7. Always right just before the number I need. There we go. 1.8. And then 0.7 ounces of your favorite fragrance oil. Today we are doing Plumeria, which happens to be one of my favorites. Reminds me of Masuka bubblegum for some reason. Okay, so then I'll turn the scale off and start mixing. And initially they don't want to mix together, but a little bit of elbow grease and they start to incorporate. And when it starts to mix together, it starts to go like a gel. Definitely very textured. I always do this first and then it's ready to go once my powders are mixed together. And it gets really thick. It smells really good too. Okay. So then I will put that aside. Get to my measuring bowl. Zero it out. And the first thing we're going to measure is 10.1 ounces of baking soda. And then the next thing we need is 7.4 ounces of Cream of Tartar. Okay. 2.7 of cornstarch. I just get my cornstarch at the dollar store. And then the last thing we need is 0.06 of tapioca flour. I should say last thing before the surfactant. So we'll zibble this out. And if this is, I have tapioca flour and tapioca starch are the same thing. So if you can't find one and you can find the other, that's why. Okay. 0.6. Okay. And then the last dry ingredient is going to be 5.8 ounces of sodium lauryl sulfoacetate, SLSA. I'll cover my face for this one. And we're zeroed. 5.8. Try and get this one in. There we go. As fast as possible. We're done with our scale for now. And I'm trying to do a quick mix of the dry ingredients and get all the big clumps, because I don't sift it. I find any clumps that are in here will come out during the mixing. Okay, so quick dry mix, all done. I'm gonna get the wonderful smelling fragrance. sure a spatula works easier, but I just didn't think to bring one out. Okay, and then we just start mixing. It's cold and gooey, and I think it's one of my favorite stages. So at this point, it looks like there's not enough liquid. There's tons of dry stuff still at the bottom, and it's very stiff. And it just falls apart. But persevere. There's tons of fluid in here. You just gotta keep going. And I just mix it like cookies and bread and Play-Doh, all mixed into one. Gets incorporated. You can see it sticks together better and better. So I think we're going to do 3 colors today. I'm going to give the red there, which actually turns into a beautiful pink shot. I'm going to give the purple. And I'm not sure at this point whether or not I will leave it white or if I will go for a 3rd color. Okay, so I just use freezer paper. I go to a local wholesale place and I buy it by the roll. It's a paper roll, it's like $25, but it's a lifetime supply. So if you're doing more than one layer, you want to make sure your bottom ball is bigger than your middle ball and your top ball, because as they spread out, the bottom spreads farther than the middle layer, which spreads farther than the top layer. If you make them equal size, they will overlap if you stack them on top of each other before rolling. And if you're okay with that, perfect. I didn't really like it, so that's why I'm a little bit fussy. So there's my big, medium, and my small. Okay, so I would really love to have some pink on the outside, so I'm going to do my main big color in the pink. Now this colorant goes far. Let's see. So that's all I'm going to use, and I bet you that's probably too much. We'll see. So I just put it in, fold it over, and go at it. I don't add any liquid glycerin. I don't add any alcohol. There is enough moisture in this recipe to make it work. Yep, that's super pretty. I think that's going to be perfect. Right, so you can see it's already starting to change color. And now you're seeing this is getting sticky. The more you work with this dough, the better and the stickier it gets. So at the end when it dries, it does take, I do leave mine out for about 5 days to dry, and I flip them every day. Usually just when I walk by. And this wasn't too much coloring, which is really nice. I had my Wilton's pink on standby, just in case. When I can use pigments and oxides, I tend to prefer them. There's less chance later on down the road of them bleeding or fading. So if I can get the color I'm looking for, I will keep it. You know, though, I think I want this a little brighter, actually. So I'm going to do a little more. We will just try and do the same amount again. And fold it in. And you want to mix it really well because you don't want to have any pockets of color. What I should do, put that up here. I wear gloves because even though this doesn't feel as hard on the hands as bath bombs, I like my colors. They're natural color. My fingers, sorry, they're natural color. Alright. And I think let's do the middle color white. And we'll have something to break up the two colors. Okay, so we'll do the little one purple. And we'll put it in a bowl. And we will use, I really want it to be purple, so I'm going to use quite a bit. We'll see how that comes out. To get the purple I'm looking for, I may need to add a bit of, I have a Wilton's burgundy color over there. And those cake colors, which are made to work in fondant, come out beautifully. I don't actually want to use burgundy. I think it needs a purple. So I found a Wilton's Violet, and this is the color it is right now. Not very purple. Well, it is. It's just not as bright. And I will use that much in the Wilton's. And we'll see how it comes out. We can always add more. No, I think that's going to do it. Now, I usually mix a little bit longer. I'm doing this video. I'm going to do the minimum mixing and go from there. So it's great. Sticks, comes right out of the bowl. And we'll put that over there. That pink piece, and pull this back here. Now, I'm going to take my gloves off. I don't want to do a whole lot of color transfer. Now, okay. So, pink is the biggest. So, put it down, flatten it a little bit. And then, oops, we're going to go for the white. And make it roughly the same shape. And see, when you push, the bottom goes. And I don't want the white to get bigger than the pink. Okay. And then there we go. Okay, so at this point for me, it's a rolling pin. So I take another piece of freezer paper and put it down on the top and just start rolling. Now, let's take a peek. Now there is some purple sticking but I don't worry about that. I will take care of that in the end. My goal here is to get it kind of spread as wide as possible. So when you start rolling it, you get a lot of spirals out of the center. And sometimes I have to slip another piece of paper up here just to stop it from sticking to my counter. Do it. Alright, so I have a scraper from Pamper Chip. Sorry. I'll put that there. And we don't want to waste any of this awesome stuff. Not sure. So I just scrape along. It all comes off really easy. Side is mostly where the white is. Put some over here. Okay. Now I roll this. Somebody says you roll it just like sushi. I've never actually rolled sushi. So I take the first one and kind of push it down. I don't worry about scraping the other paper until definitely in. You want to be firm when you push it down because you don't want any air bubbles in the center. I love, love, love that pink. And when it gets closer to the other side, I cheat a little, turn it around, push down. Then with my ends, you can see how they're hollow here. I just tuck them in. Make them as soft as possible. And then I get my scraper. And I will roll it to get what's Alright, so, and at this point, it's all personal preference. You can roll it. Sorry about the paper. And it just gets longer and longer and longer. If you make it too long, it's pretty easy to fix. Just kind of squish it back in. Roll it a little. See, this is about the size I would use, and if you really want to, it is heavy enough you can pick it up. And then thump it back down. See, and this will give me, I get 12 roughly 1 inch pieces out of it. And each bar weighs between 2.5 and 3 ounces. And it's good for 2 baths. And so what I'm going for is enough for 12 slices. And so that looks about right for me. So then this cuts much nicer. It has less of the wrinkled doughy look if you leave it sit for a few hours. So I'm going to tuck that all up and I will clean it and I'll see you again for the cutting.